Hey, welcome back for part 2. Now, this is a short series, but you don't have to look at the previous one to get this one. It would be nice if you did, but you don't have to. But I would like if you do, but you don't have to. But I would appreciate it, but I'm not gonna force you. But you never fucking listen. I'm just kidding. Now, let's go, you stupid bastard. Back in the 90s, we had the beginning of the Disney Renaissance, an era that is praised by many, had some of Disney's most iconic films like Beauty and the Beast, which I love, and some like Pocahontas, which I can't watch because I can't sit through more than a Colors of the Wind video on YouTube. But my personal favorite of the bunch is one of Disney's most daring films to make for the time. Even if it is the YouTube Kids version of the story, it's definitely on the darker side of the devil mouse. This is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Released in 1996, Hunchback of Notre Dame was thrown to theaters, proposed by David Station to Jeffrey Katzenberg, yes, the guy from DreamWorks. Fuck, I love it. It went under production in 1993 with directors Gary Truesdale and Kirk Wise, who also directed Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Oliver and Company, and another one of those movies we'll talk about in the series. Like I mentioned before, this movie was pretty daring for Disney. And sadly, when it was released, it wasn't very well received. I mean, shit, it did bring that bread. But many know that people criticize the tone issues, the gargoyles, the fact that it was extremely lighthearted compared to the novels, and how it falls back on many cliches. And then you had the other side where it was too scary for kids and too violent and sensual, which made it too adult, despite the fact that kids probably weren't even bothered by that. Yeah, expected from parents, probably Karens. The ones like, how dare you, this movie's too much for a child, and then the child.
For the last time!
I mean, shit, my parents didn't give a fuck. Swears in animation or in general shows.
Si no estás a gusto, salte a la chingada o yo te saco. ¿Quieres ver que te saco?
Didn't care, I watched it. Remember when I talk about una película de huevos? Yeah.
Un pene al burro.
¡Ah, pues es pasta!
Qué susto, ¿verdad? Yo pensé que...
Well, I rewatched it, and they basically just say slang for penis and don't try to hide it. Like, no wonder I'm so fucked up. This movie made me dirty-minded, and I'm all here for it. Did the movie have titties? I still watched it, and it confused me a lot as a kid.
Switching sides.
Burning Alive, murder, racism, watched it. And I'm completely fine, totally mentally stable. Even apparently homo undertones and out there.
A picture speaks 1,000 words. With that, I introduce you to the fantastic world of gay sex.
Bro, what were some of you wasting your time on in the 1990s? No f***ing wonder meth was a hell of a drug. I mean, there were protests, boycotting over how it disparages Christian values. Yeah, because, you know, you're pedo bear priests and terrible people and don't do that on their own.
The Catholic vote. Get some hot Christian action that'll dig you.
And people banned kids from seeing the film. Now, I actually don't know how much of it is true, I wasn't there. But I'd believe it if it was the 90s. People would starve themselves to look skinny and made it a fashion. I fucking believe anything. Next thing you know, the statements all came from Florida. So, being such a seemingly controversial film, I fucking loved it. Now, why did I love this movie so much as a child? Or at least I think I did. Yeah, I did. Now, I don't know what attracted me to the movie. Well, I know one thing.
Esmeralda.
But this seemed like a movie that kid me wouldn't be fond of. I mean, it was confusing, it wasn't really fun. It didn't have any princesses that would make me sort of interested. Again, minus the obvious. But one day I decided to rewatch it on YouTube because don't judge me, I didn't realize how to get free movies online yet. I realized why I loved it so much. Of course, there is a lot of criticism that is fair, like the gargles and the tone issues, but Personally, I wasn't actually too bothered by the gargoyles. The tonage just did get to me sometimes because it made me want to keep that dark and broody nature that was done before. Basically, I just wanted it to keep focus. And if some of you have watched fuck, I forgot how to say his name, on the live play, and you know how it handles the story better, which I don't know, I've yet to see it, I know there's a couple of reasons why I still wouldn't choose it over the animated. Okay, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? But can you fucking blame me? I know you won't sit here and tell me that this shit isn't impressive. I know that the 90s 3D demon models exist, but look at this! And this, and this! Like, holy shit, this is so amazing. Their animation was absolutely outstanding. The colors utilized to convey the emotions, all the blues and bright oranges. The cathedral is absolutely gorgeous. And it's just so well animated and lit on the inside, like the whole window glass. Ugh, it's so fucking amazing. Their few action scenes utilized every tool they had, especially this swing. And the shot of Notre Dame with the lava pouring out, like, the chills, bro, the chills. The sliding down the water pipe, that stained glass window from before, every single background and camera movement, and every song using such creative imagery, and we have to talk about the music. Now, what actually inspired me to make this a series rather than the original single semi-long Treasure Planet video that I was gonna make was being reminded of this movie's soundtrack. Oh, that was way too hard. Now, ignoring the inevitable, every single song in this movie, don't miss. I mean, Out There has increased a lot in popularity, mostly due to its remix that it had with the How to Train Your Dragon, which yeah, that slaps. I'm obviously gonna use it for an intro. And despite everyone probably thinking I'm going to rant about the obvious, which I will, but this is not the song of my main focus. My main focus comes at the beginning. This piece of music is one of my all-time favorites. I don't even have to watch the animation to get chills from it. I don't know what it is, but just it's so amazing. Like the specific parts that give me chills at the beginning shot, also when Frollo sees the well, and obviously that amazing ending with them high notes. I'm gonna try to show it if I don't get copyright, because god damn, it's so amazing. I submit my body to you for creating such fucking peak. And what about this song specifically? Paul Kendall, David Ogden Steers, Tony J. I'm about to be a dirty man whore for these men just for making such a piece of music. Oh my god. And I am not kidding when I say that hearing those ending vocals with those gorgeous visuals, I'm being 100% honest with you. I'm being 100% honest with you. It makes me want to cry. Just hearing it makes me feel better than any pleasure known to mankind since the invention of sex. I'm dead serious. I could play it on repeat over and 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 over, and I would not stop loving it. It makes me teary. I just know bullshit. It makes the hair on my skin stand on its ends. And this is just the beginning song. Out There again has become a little more popular, but not as much as How to Train Your Dragon because It's those endings vocals. It's just the ending vocals and the backtracks are just that good. And every other song slaps just as hard, even if they're not as iconic as. Okay, yeah, I mean, oh shit, I have to say that Hellfire is just some peak piece of. It's just some peak music. Just some ear orgasms. That probably has more fans than the original movie, and for semi-good reasons. The visuals are great, the vocals are great, the instrumental, it's just an amazing piece of art of its own. And who else than the devilish Frollo to deliver it, which... Oh yeah, the characters. Not going to dwell much, otherwise the video might be too long. But all these characters are great. I obviously sim for Esmeralda. Quasi is also very endearing. And Frollo is literally one of the best Disney villains to date. Even if in terms of common villains, it's not as 3D as possible. Obviously, he's 2D. And no, I don't want to talk about... I don't want to talk about the Frollo Sims. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about them. I didn't even know that they were a real thing until Nostalgia Critics video. I've never been the same since. I don't know what part about this man made you attracted to him, but please seek psychological help. I know you're probably watching the Dahmer show and you probably think he's hot. Please get psychological help. I'm worried about you. You deserve to have the right to vote. Please fix your daddy issues. Anyway.
Don't worry, Gregory. I can see your search history. What the?
Did you know that one of his main inspirations was Amon Goth? I actually don't know how his name is pronounced. Anyway, specifically, the one in the movie Schindler's List? That one. Where he would kill Jews, and despite that, he lusted for his Jewish maid. Anyway, think about that, people. You simp for a Nazi metaphor. Stop it! I obviously went in and looked at the behind the scenes because duh, you always do that and just, prepare yourself to hear for the rest of the videos in the miniseries. Once again, if you want to watch it, it's only about 20-30 minutes. It's available on YouTube as well as a director's commentary. Anyway, don't say I never did anything for you. In the behind the scenes, they had a line that came from Roy Disney.
One of the things that keeps us honest is Snow White, Pinocchio, Bambi, Fantasia. That history that is part of our tradition, that keeps our sights awfully, awfully high.
Which, it's kind of sad how, despite how much Disney has come forward and how much it has improved, honestly, how it has been able to somewhat adapt to the new times and be able to be progressive. And once again, not the company, because the company couldn't give two shits about anyone, but the creators themselves, I actually do care, but not the company. The company is a piece of shit, let's be honest here. Don't dick ride. The company doesn't actually care about representing minorities. They only want to make that sweet, sweet brownie points, okay? But the creators the actual creators of the stories, they want to tell stories for everyone, and despite this, they seem to shit on their own set history and traditions that set their standards so high. And now, with this, even when they try to go back to the classics, they fail astronomically, to the point that people online are making a better version of your movie without high budget animation. Like, how is that possible? Are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed by the fact that these people are making such beautiful original concepts? Well, not original, because they're using the concept art, but by the concept art, they're making such beautiful animations and animatics, and they're making a better story and a better musical than your own. When you try to go back to the class, like, how is that possible? It's insane. By the way, if you guys have not seen any of the At All Costs Wish animatics, I 100% recommend that you do so, because they're so nice and they're so sweet, and they literally, they tug in my heartstrings because they're so cute. I mean, if we want to be honest right now, I think there's a reason why a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, are still making comparisons with Frollo's Hellfire against what's his name? What is his name? Magnifier? I don't know. This guy. This is the things I get. Is so adds up to the point that people are like, hey, remember Hunchback of Notre Dame? Yeah, that thing actually was pretty good. What happened? What? Jesus Christ, it's embarrassing. Which is the reason why, for example, I absolutely hate the live action remakes of these classic movies, if you haven't told by how much I shit on them. Even the inevitable remake of this very film, which will make it 10 times dummier, shitty, and just straight up ass compared to the original, That's why sometimes I just cannot stand people like Retro Segler, even though I know her hate is way too much. I still don't like her at all, because she just constantly just trashes such an important piece of history, for, in this example, obviously being Snow White, which, yeah, okay, I get it, it is a bit dated, with, you know, things such as that age gap, which I cannot even confirm if it's true or not, but it always has to be about the same independent woman they make in every single remake, but just with a different race filter. Just, what I'm trying to say is just don't constantly shit on a movie that was literally one of the, if not the most important for the animation of today, just because it doesn't connect with your woke ideals, and then talk about your soulless interpretation like it's the second coming of Christ, and instead of actually being more feminist, it's actually going against feminism, okay? Like, I don't get how this is so hard to understand. Making the same woman every single time is not a feminist stand. It's just ass! Sorry. I guess what I'm trying to say is that even if this film wasn't the classic and groundbreaking movie that Disney was used to, it took some risk, and yeah, some of them failed, but it was trying to be different, and it was. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this movie that won't take me 20 years. The story's not something groundbreaking, but definitely daring for Disney. I'm glad that it's a cult classic, even if it doesn't have that big of a fan base as some of the other movies in this series. But I really do wish it could have been more successful, which is something you're gonna hear a lot, because this, if perfected by Disney, could have been a great subgenre in their catalog, and just, dude, I really like this movie, and there are so many good aspects about it that make me ignore the bad ones, because it's definitely not perfect or even close to being one of Disney's best, especially best Disney Renaissance film, but it's my favorite one, so yeah, I love it.
Disney has a tremendous commitment to telling great stories, which I think is the fundamental principle of animation. Telling it with great characters, and always pushing the sort of artistic boundaries of animation always one step